very excited about today's live. As with all lives, I'm always super excited. But this one, I'm specifically excited about it because we are hosting one of our customers, one of our followers who has been very successful at getting remote opportunities. And it is one of those last time when we had a live, I think it was like 2 weeks back, we had a request that if you've worked with someone in the VA who's a VA, if you could bring them on board, and our client or our customer, turned bestie, agreed to join. So we're going to be hosting her. Her name is Andie. She is Zambian, and we want her to walk us through her journey. Yeah, how can we be VAs if there's a person who's interested in being a VA and still work remotely? Just the ins and outs of it all. So I'm super, super duper excited about this. I don't know if she's joined already. Our guest also came on board and she was looking for a customer success role and then ended up being a VA. So I'm super excited for you to hear her journey. Hi, Andie, can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
How are you feeling, Andie?
Okay, I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I guess let's start in good faith. Let's do that. Continue on tapping your screens. So, I've been raving about Andie for the past 9 minutes. How I came to know about Andie, and Andie, I'd want you to also speak on how you came to, know about Beyond the Savannah, but how you came to know about Andie is, I think you DM'd me on TikTok requesting for our services. You are in Zambia, and for the people who know, if you're outside of East Africa, then you have to pay for our services in dollars, in US dollars. So you paid, I think you are my first client in Zambia. I'm happy to go to that and receive so many clients, but yeah, you're my very first client in Zambia, paid in dollars, and then we worked on your CV. I remember you wanted a customer service CV, and that is what we worked on together. And then that's the basis of our relationship, yeah. But it has clearly grown from there, and I really love the beautiful heart that you have. But Andie, over to you. Tell us something about yourself. Who you are, where you're from, what you studied. Yes. And yes, as you can see, Mr. King also over here is like, yeah, she's my bestie. We met here and you're stronger than ever. So yeah, please let us know, Andie, who you are. Introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, firstly. Thank you so much, Lorraine. I'm so excited. And, my name is Andie. Yeah, it's a short version. Everybody can't pronounce my full name, so Andie is fine. And I am from Zambia, Lusaka. I have a degree in mass comm. We focus on I feel like I am answering an interview. Like, tell us about yourself. The most dreaded question ever.
But it is. But remember when we went through the introductory video, you nailed it. So this shouldn't be a for you. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a degree in mass comm, which is, firstly, I always like to mention, I started out wanting to be a doctor, so I spent 4 years in Ukraine doing it. And then I'm like, it's not enough for me. So that's how I pivoted into the business world, customer service, and then along the line, I started doing more communication, journalism, which my focus was journalism, public relations, and advertising. And anything else you'd like to know?
I'm really curious to understand, right? What made you start looking for a remote job?
Okay.
Because everyone's journey is completely different and interesting. So I want to understand, like, why a remote job? What made you start looking for a remote job?
Okay, that's a great question, actually. So, they say that, what do they say? Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? So I think I started a couple of years ago. I would see people talk about, oh, make money online, make money online. And I'm like, so I would go down a rabbit hole on YouTube trying to see how I can make money. They say maybe join, these things, what do they call them? Surveys, yeah, do a survey. And it just never worked out. So I kind of, okay, this thing doesn't work. And so I just let it go. So earlier this year, if you permit me to say, I actually, I was doing very well. My year started out like on a high note. I was making the most money in my business, which is cars and the likes. And then the economy hit. People all of a sudden were holding on to their money. Nobody was buying cars. And it just got very, very tough. It got very tough. And I remember because I follow Lynn Ngugi. I don't know if I'm going ahead of myself. But I was seeing the interview that Lorraine did with her. And for a long time, I'm like, this interview, but it was just, I'll see it pop up. And of course, I'm very faith based, so I don't believe in just coincidences. In everything that I do, like God is my number one. So I believe that there are certain things that happen or that I go through that are not just because I stumbled upon them, but if I've been praying in a certain direction, God will bring certain things my way. Sorry, excuse the noise. I hope you can still hear me. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been praying and I'm like, Lord, the thing is not thinking anymore. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I was just, consulting, and that video kept popping up on my YouTube feed. And I'm like, I'll watch. At that time, remote work had not even crossed my mind. I was not even thinking about. I was just thinking, what can I do? Where can I find more money? Do I need to? What other business can I do? And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just watch this. Let me just watch this video. And then I think I watched it like 2-3 times because, oh my God, the gems that you dropped in that video were just, I was like, this is amazing. It gave me a different perspective to remote work because from what I had experienced, it was scams, what's that? I can't even remember that survey place thing. They still send me emails till now, apply to do this. I said, my dear, so that was my, I had no idea it would actually work like basically a normal job, the way people do it in an office, just the fact that I'm doing it from home. I didn't believe that was possible. And so when you talked about it in your interview with Lean, it just opened my mind to something new because I had never really heard about it. I was on ground zero. I had no information about it. And that's just piqued my interest. Let me not get ahead of myself. Maybe let me let you ask anything.
No, please. By all means, continue the conversation. Continue the story. We're all invested.
Okay, so that's how I searched. I knew this lady. I have to find her. I need to know more about this. At that point, I had no money. I had one saving grace, which was one car that I had left that we were hoping would go. And I remember I got in touch with Lorraine, I think end of March, and I wasn't able to pay for the service until I think a month or so later. And Lorraine was so patient. She was so patient. She said, no, don't worry. And I would always, I'm going to send the money. And then so finally, when I managed to get that money, the first thing that I did, I was like, you know what? I need to make, because to be very honest, as a business person, risk is my middle name. Like, I've lost way more money than the money that I was going to. I mean, it was a steal for me, So I knew that I was going to make way more if this thing was actually legit. But I knew that you couldn't have gone on an accredited show like Lynn's if it was a scam. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this investment. I need to understand what this is about. And so that's how when I got the money, I think a month and some weeks later, I first sent you $1 just to make sure the money would reach. And you were like, Andie, I just received, I was wondering who sent me $1. But yeah, finally I made the payment. And I thank God every single day because my life has changed. And of course, all thanks to God, but I'm also so grateful that, you've opened up your space to be able to train and to teach people. Because honestly, I feel like I got more value than what I actually paid for, because whenever I need something, Lorraine, you are there. I'll be like, Lorraine, when I got the first agency, I know we'll get to that, but I just want to mention the first agency when they got in touch and they gave me an assessment, I had no idea. Lorraine was literally training and coaching me on how to do. Nanji, this is how you go through the Word document. This is what you're going to do, and it was just so amazing. So I'll pause there for a little bit.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyhow, yeah. So I like the bit that you mentioned that for you, risk is your middle name. You have to invest because it was the other day I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about everything has a cost. There is nothing that is free. Whether you're going to cost in terms of dollars, or you're going to incur cost in terms of spending time to just research and learn about a certain course or a certain function you're trying to get into or something new, there is a cost that is to that. And even if you don't go ahead and do that, there's still an opportunity cost. So the cost of missing out on what you wanted, yes? And now that you do that very, very clearly. Now, let's go back to, we already have a working relationship. We've revamped your CV to be a customer service one. You're applying to customer service roles because that is what I always advise all my clients that, during in the senior development package, we do have a 30 minutes consultation call. And by the end of that meeting, you are assured that, moving forward, if it's customer service, then you're going to be applying to customer service roles, right? So I'm assuming that, even after that, you're still applying to customer service jobs, then what next? I know organization like to say and that didn't bear any fruit. So I want to, if it's okay with you, what was your turning point? When did you think of VA? Because in all honesty, we never had that conversation of being a virtual assistant. So what was your turning point? Because your experience looking for customer service.
Okay. I must mention firstly that when Lorraine was, I think she's even being modest by saying, we made your CV, this and that, because I literally had no CV. This is somebody who last worked seriously in like 2016 or somewhere in there, and I had no interest on going back into an office. So I had to go back into my emails and find a CV so it was literally not even a CV, but just to see what you actually did with that was just like, okay, this is amazing. So so when we got done with the call with Lorraine, she was like, you know what, you're very comfortable. I feel comfortable speaking with you. You do amazing in customer service, and that's what I actually wanted because I excel in those type of roles, and so I hit the ground running with that, but. I started with Sagan, though I must mention, I didn't really do maybe my due diligence in certain areas. I didn't take time to also learn, what I needed to know to be able to work remotely and stuff. So I was just, on the go. Lorraine has done this for me. She's optimized my LinkedIn. Let me just get started. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. Sorry if maybe I've got. Yeah. Yeah, and so what I did, the first. I think it was with Sagan, I was supposed to apply for a certain role and they needed to see like my laptop and the specifications, and I didn't know that I needed certain type of machine to be able to work properly, and I was using my dad's old laptop, that he handed me down. So when I sent that was one of the things that that made I didn't pass because my system wasn't up to speed. So I didn't know that. But actually, I remember the first thing that they said. My CV. Forgive my dogs, sorry, but yeah, my CV was it was a match. Everything was okay. But I think when it came to my internet, I also didn't know I needed a certain internet speed for me to be able to work remotely. So the system check I didn't pass. The internet check I didn't pass. To be very honest, that was one of the main reasons I feel that I didn't really bear much fruit when it came to Sagan, because I did not meet the requirements for the roles. And then, Lorraine, where were we? I went off on.
You're saying that you really cannot pinpoint, the what is it called? The exact turning point for you to start looking for a VA role, which by the way is still okay. But I want you, if you're comfortable with it, could you please walk us through how you started? So I know the company that you kind of the company that you got your VA opportunities from. I don't know if you're comfortable sharing it with the live and everyone on the live. So please let us know or walk us through your VA journey. How did it start? Where did you, like when someone wants to look for a VA opportunity, where should they start? Where did you start?
So as I see, this is the thing. In my country, we say, "Well, lazy asadi," which is from the Bible, basically saying somebody that's lazy should not eat. So what I did was, with the information that Lorraine had equipped me with, I decided to take it seriously because I hadn't been that serious. In fact, the same month that I paid, I was here and there because I was moving and all the likes. What I did was every morning, just to mention, it was like I'm going for work. My spare bedroom in my house, I made it like, I made it an office space. And every morning when I'm up, I do my devotion, I do everything. By 9, I'm in my quote-unquote office and I'm working. And the job that I was doing was looking for roles, applying, working on my CV, because I learned that you need to tailor your CV to. And I think that's another mistake that I was making earlier. I was just running with the CV that Lorraine gave me, and I was not working on it because she did mention to say, Andie, make sure you tailor it, to fit the job description. So I'll wake up early in the morning. By 9, I'm in my office and I'm applying for roles. So it is true. I can't even pinpoint where exactly. Through that, whatever would fit my bill, I would apply. Whatever would fit my bill, I would apply. And it's also through that I learned, when I'm applying to companies, I'm very careful with how many applications I send, because I know sometimes it makes you look like you're somebody who's unstable and you don't know what you're doing. So you'll find that you're applying to a company and I would apply for like 3 roles at once, and of course that's a rejection when you look like you don't know what you want. You apply, wait a little bit. If you get a rejection, then you can go ahead and apply for something else. But so that was my thing. I would wake up very early. I'm applying for jobs, and then I don't know if I can say exactly the company that I'm with, because in my contract they do allow us to do social media and all that, but they're very specific with So, but it's privately. I don't mind. I don't mind giving it to you. But it's a VA agency. Yeah, it's a VA agency. I just stumbled upon them and I sent an application, and I started doing assessments, and I can pause there for a minute before I go forward.
Awesome. So we've got a question from Blessed One, and Blessed One is asking, which websites did you, because we were hearing you say you applied and it was a job and you sent applications. So which websites did you use? Beyond the Savannah? If yes, any other website that you used to send in applications or that you used to scout opportunities?
My starting point, and even now, I still use Beyond the Savannah, and I think that day I had applied. I remember the day I had applied to a certain role, and when I went to the company where they had linked the link that was on Beyond the Savannah, I think where they had linked their company was where the other job that my agency had posted on. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah. So I applied to a lot of customer service roles on Beyond the Savannah. I still have faith in Satan, and I'm still going back. It's just that now I need to have a lot on my plate, so I'm not really doing But then so I applied to a lot of customer service roles on Beyond the Savannah, and I still send it to my friends. Too late.
Thank you so much. Could you walk us through, because Nanji, I feel like I know the story. When you first started sending applications, the number of interviews you went through, up to the point that you got your first VA role. Could you walk us through?
Sorry, Lorraine, I didn't really get you on that one. You said
I'm asking, could you walk us through? Because I feel like I know the story, and it could be encouraging to someone who's on here and just really struggling with their journey. Because it can be really, really difficult, right? I always tell my clients that competition is global, it is fierce, and it's the people who stick to it that are going to get the opportunity. For example, got Chabet asking for a startup VA with no experience in VA, how do you tailor your CV? So we're going to talk about that, Chabet, in a bit. But I want you to listen to Nanji's story, because it's one that speaks of resilience and always never giving up. So please walk us through your journey from you sending in applications, you going through different rounds of interviews, till you getting your first VA role and the other subsequent roles, because Nanji is a superstar where she is at the moment.
yes, I am. Yes, I am. I actually heard it. They were like, the Filipinos were like, Nanji, you're on high demand. I said yes. And so just to expand on that, I must mention, when you want something, I've seen something, because here I actually was talking to a few of my friends and encouraging them. I don't know, I don't want to say it's an African thing or Zambian thing, but maybe a personal thing for people that claim they want something, but when it's actually time to put in the work, they're not really willing to do so. Or you go to beyond the savannah and they're like, what can you okay, this what guarantee, and this question, what guarantee are you going to give me that I'll get the job? If you have been looking for work in your country physically and it's been even difficult to find, how different it's even as Lorraine said, it's more fierce remotely, because they're dealing with people from different parts of the world, people with different expertise. So allow me to just share my story for a few minutes. Like I say, things were like it had gotten serious for me, from being and doing extremely well, then all of a sudden zero. Where's my next rent going to come from? Debts, all of a sudden you're incurring debts, and I'm like, Lord, something has to break, because this is not making sense. And so even being a Christian, I can't just sit in my room and I'm praying and waiting for manna from heaven, and I'm not actually, so that's how I needed to, I decided to take it seriously. And like I said, early in the morning, you will find me 9 a.m. I'm in my office. My lunch, I'm having it from my office. I'm applying, I'm learning, I'm learning. By 5 p.m. or so, I'm off and, I'm out. If you look at Lorraine's page, you'll see a lot of free tips. And I would, even when I was doing my intro video, I remember I don't know how many times I watched Lorraine's intro video. I do not know how many times, just so that I could practice and get myself there. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, having gone through what I went through, and having, looking around and being like, I know how tough it is for me, and I know how much I need this and how desperate I am. Brethren, I could not afford, it was very expensive for me to be lazy, It was extremely expensive for me to be lazy. And, because I noticed this thing, you'll be encouraging someone to go for, and they're like, but I'm shy, but I'm scared. You're scared is not going to feed you. Hunger doesn't care that you're scared. The negative bank account does not care that you're scared or you're not feeling quote unquote confident. Lorraine, if you hear me, let me tell you, even when I hear myself in those interviews, I don't believe that is me speaking. They play. I'm telling you, I sell myself. I remember I had to do some sticky notes in my office. I would write before an interview boldness. I would write boldness, confidence, because I knew if I go there and I tank that interview, it is me and my hunger after that. It is me and my empty bank account. Those people are going to move on. Those people are going to move on. So anyway, when I stumbled upon that place, if I tell you that when I was applying for that role, I still had that old laptop that I knew now was not going to fly. I knew I needed proper internet. I literally had to borrow money from my dad to buy my first proper laptop. Even if when I was starting, I didn't wait to say, okay, until I can have a proper laptop is when maybe I'll pay for the service and then I'll start, I started even before. And I said, you know what, if I get something that will prompt me to rush around. And so when the agency that I was with or that I'm with, they give you only 24 hours. If they give an assessment, they give you 24 hours. And so I'm like, where am I going to find a laptop in 24 hours? Where am I going to find money to buy a new laptop? God just came through anyway. Quote unquote, I had to borrow money to pay half for the laptop, and I got the laptop. I was doing they need you to do a video, like basically answer why should we hire you, and I was doing that video at I think it was 1 a.m. Yeah. So in my country, we have a situation right now where we have load shedding. I don't know if you know what load shedding is. Basically, electricity goes for like 12 hours a day. So even now, my genset is on. I thought we were going to do video, that's why I had to just switch on the genset. But for 12 hours a day, we have no electricity, and to be honest, most times it's more. So I had to wait until electricity came back, which was midnight. And I started doing the video. I was so done because I had already passed the threshold that they had given me. But I said, you know what? I'll do this video and I'll send it. I was feeling deflated at that point, but I did the video and I sent it. And lo and behold, they accepted me. They accepted me and they gave me assessments. Those are the ones that I quickly called Lorraine and I'm like, Lorraine, what do I do here? They need me to do this and they need me to do this. And of course, my new bestie who I had met on Beyond the Savannah, Yvonne, she also helped me when it came to like graphic design and everything, because they had to see all those things. And I was learning that that's basically what virtual assistance is. You wear a little bit of each hat, a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of admin work, a little bit of business support. And so from there, that's how I got in. It was actually with the Beyond the Savannah CV and cover letter, which has even helped me even while I'm in the agency. I don't know, Lorraine, if there's anything before I look at Yvonne. Yeah, I don't know if I should go on.
Yes, by all means, go on.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how I ended here. I must mention, Lorraine. You know what? Before I even go on talking about, let me just mention, Yvonne actually today just got a role with an NGO. Lorraine, yes, this same girl here, and truly you really helped us a lot. You really helped us. Yeah.
That's amazing! Oh my gosh! Congratulations, Yvonne!
Congratulations, Yvonne! And we met on Beyond the Savannah, and so even when encouraging each other, we'd always, even when we're talking, it's like we don't forget what your name is. We're like, Beyond the Savannah always says. Beyond the Savannah says, and Yvonne is the one that calls you Beyond the Savannah. I call you Lorraine. But yeah, so she just got a role with an NGO today, and thank you so much, Lorraine. Honestly, you're doing God's work. So yeah, that's how I did my assessments, and I got in. That was in April. Yeah. And from April 15th until I would say a month, I was basically doing interviews with the team of the agency. So they just wanted to first of all, like I told you, this computer thing, They wanted to make sure my system is is top notch and it's on point. And so that was basically what the first interview was about, to make sure the system is okay, to make sure my internet, I had to do a live speed test, internet speed test. They had to see my PC live while I shared my screen and all that. And so I passed that one. I went to the second one, which was an assessment, basically to see which level, because there are different levels in the company. Yeah, there are different levels in the company, and so they had to determine which level I'm at, which is they have entry, they have intermediary, something like that, the middle one, and they have the senior and the advanced, which of course the pays are different for all of these. My dear, I told God, I said, you cannot send me someone and go entry level. It's a lie. There's no one like you. You're not going to pay me small dollars. And that's what I said. I had to build my confidence, because I saw, and one thing that I realized, especially with our international clients, when you're speaking to them, they want to see that you know what you're talking about. You may be speaking nonsense, but if you're speaking that nonsense well, so confidence, how you speak, how you carry yourself, that has really helped me. Like the first interview that I had, to be very honest, the client was a lawyer. Yeah, the client was a lawyer, and she was very tough. But till date, I think that was my most excellent interview, because even the lady, we always have a mediator with us in the interviews. I could see her, she was so impressed, and she was just smiling the whole time. Guys, I don't play. Like I told you, I do not play with this thing, because I know that at the end of the day, it's me and hunger. And me, I'm not interested in anything that has to do with hunger. So when I know that I need to, when I know that I'm having an interview or I'm sending a CV, I have to package myself very well, because Yvonne, like Lorraine has said, I want to say Yvonne now. As Lorraine has said, the competition is fierce. You're battling against so many other people from different parts of the world who are so experienced, who with different levels of experience. But if they can get it, why can't you? Like, what is wrong with you? Why can't you get it? And that was what I was telling myself. And that's why I said, I cannot enter entry level. That's not my portion. I can't. And I did, after finishing the second interview, I did the third interview, and I am actually at the advanced level, which is the topmost. And I got in, and any question yet? Can I go on?
But you know what I like about your story is that you are the embodiment of, you need to sell your story. It is your story. You need to sell a good story, right? And for the people who join my masterclass, particularly this morning, we're talking about the power of selling a story and the power of your story. First, you need to be convinced that you can do this. Yeah, that you're capable of, working remotely, you're capable, you've got the right skills. You don't even need to say that, oh my gosh, you need to do like a data analysis course first. You, with the skills that you currently have, you are enough, and you're capable of working remotely. It's all about how you're packaging yourself, how you sell yourself. And you spoke about something really important, Andie, that, the self-talk that you give yourself, you could be bold, confident, and all that. And people actually, what people don't know is that 60% of the time you're hired because of your likability. And that is where I feel like most African candidates, we really flop. And this is a feedback that we got from, one of the global hiring recruiters, that unfortunately African candidates don't present really well in an interview because we are timid, and that can come off as being not confident in ourselves. Yeah. Right, Andie?
Exactly. I noticed that as well. Where you feel like you need to be so robotic and so stiff, and you need to be so serious. For example, when you're doing an intro video, smile. I remember when I was doing my last interview with the head of HR, I could tell she was cranky because my internet was a little bit late, and the first thing I had. It's just sad that this video thing is not working. I have a gorgeous smile. Like, you should see me smile. And so just when she came up on the live, I flashed her my beautiful white teeth, and I could see she was even taken aback a little bit. She was taken aback a little bit, and she smiled. And I tell you, the first 15 minutes of that interview, we were chatting. I found out how her and her husband have been trying to have a child for so long and they're not, and they're doing IVF. I found out about her dogs and her cats and everything, because I made her feel comfortable. And she was like, oh, you have an amazing accent. Oh, you speak so well. You have, and that's because you have I would say, the power to change the atmosphere of your interview with how you present yourself and how, like I said, confident you are and bold. And so that's one thing I told my best friend as well. Yeah, I was about to read there. I always tell her, I said, you're not taking, in my country, it's called an NRC, National Registration Card, or a passport, where you have to sit still and you don't smile because it's a national ID. Like, you're not applying for the military. Loosen up. They want to see your personality. So sorry, I cut you short.
No. And you've actually added on to what I was going to say, that, people or candidates in the Latin countries or even America's time zones, they wear their hats on their sleeves. You're able to see their personality shine through. And let me tell you, you're going to get onboarded and you're going to get trained. There's someone who asked whether, these companies do train you. You're going to get trained. So people don't hire you 100% because of skill. Skill can be taught, right? You get hired, one, because of your likability and your attitude and your personality, and that is what you're calling culture fit. So if you're not able to let your personality shine through when you have that opportunity, unfortunately you're going to find it really, really, really difficult, especially if you're looking for a remote opportunity, because that is what the global north likes. So you need to speak the language. If you want to be robotic, as Andie puts it, let that be for your local African market. But in the remote setup, let your personality shine. And if there's one thing that you get out of this live, is let your personality shine and have the confidence of a white man. Period. Nothing more. Yeah? Okay. Andie, do you want to let us know how many clients you are currently serving? Because I think that's another beautiful story. That's another beautiful angle that you can talk to.
Okay, so yeah, I currently have 3 clients. And so I remember being told, because there's another role that I saw, and I'm like, this looks interesting. And the lady just had to tell me, says, stop. She says, no, your card is full, because we are only allowed about 50 hours a week. And so my saving grace is for the other people, I'm doing projects for them. But they're just like, Andie, no, you already have too many people on your thing, and they value you being able to perform. And that's why I feel like I'm not really, even for some time, I've not been like, let me apply, because there are other roles that I have seen, and I'm like, oh my God, and they pay so well, and I know I'll be able maybe to juggle, but I want to first find my footing and not be able to say, oh, there's money here, there's money there, that I end up not delivering, because like I said, I am a Jesus girl, and my Bible tells me that a good name is more precious than rubies. A good name is more precious, and wherever those people people are going, they should know my name, and I shouldn't be like, oh, just because I want the money that I'm failing to now perform. Ryan, I don't know if it's Ryan, I am a field marketing assistant now for the full-time bathroom modeling company that I work for, and also the events coordinator for that company. And to the other one, I offer virtual assistance to a travel consultant. And my other client is a real estate agent, though it's just a few projects here and there that I do for her. So yeah,
I like that you. I think it was some time back you mentioned that you as a VA you do wear a little bit of different hats, right? And the current opportunities that you have clearly speaks to that. My question is, what do you think is the binding factor? I know what your binding factor is. Andie is ready to put you on the spot, but I want to I want to know if you know what your binding factor is, because I think I know your success factor. What is your success factor? How is it that you're able to move from, supporting a VA, or being a real estate VA, a travel consultant? What is your binding factor?
Sure. I love that you say that you know what it is, because I don't think I know what it is. But Lauren, maybe you tell what is, according to you, what do you think my binding factor, my success factor is?
I think success factor is how comfortable you are able to make people feel, right? You've got great relationship management skills, and you're able to anticipate and solve problems way in advance. So those are some of the things that most recruiters look for, particularly when they're looking for a remote setup or looking for people to work in the remote landscape. How are you able to create relationships? How are you able to collaborate with different people? How comfortable are you? Are you the sort of person that when you're thrown, not under the bus, but when you're thrown in the deep end, then you shrink? Or are you going to swim? Right? And those are your winning success factors, and that's how I doubt, even if you to get yourself in, I don't know, the military, or you to get yourself in a medical field, that you would struggle, because you really have the winning factors working for you.
Wow, I love that. But see, when you're saying hunger is a factor.
Yes, hunger as well.
Yeah, the hunger did good. The hunger did good, but just like you said, I think I can concur with that, because I've heard it. One of my clients, actually, the travel consultant Sean, I remember he said, you know what, because he was going on vacation before he had me, and he said, you know what, I was just so drawn to you. The way you spoke even in your video, and then when we did the interview, I was so impressed. I don't really have work for you to do now until after the vacation, but I just hired you because I didn't want to come back and find somebody else has hired you. Okay. And so that is something that I have heard as well. And I learned, that's why I was saying I feel like each and every one of us must have customer service skills. Oh yeah, first, I do believe Yvonne should be next. Oh my God, her story is just, it's amazing. But yeah, I think I was talking about, you were talking about my success factor, and I was sharing how I managed to, what has helped me land the roles that I have. Because to be very honest, like I said, the first month, April, I was getting into the agency, just they were doing system checks, I was doing training, and yeah, somebody talked about training for some agencies or some companies. They will train you because you need to know what they're about, but that doesn't mean you just sit and wait to be hired and then you don't know. I was on YouTube even when I was looking for jobs before I got in the agency. What is email management? What is calendar management? Basically learning the CRM tools that I needed. And I remember one of the first things I asked Lorraine was like, what is this? I see people talking about CRM. What is Asana? I keep hearing yourselves. What's Salesforce? I had no idea. And she just walked me through and said, Andie, everything these days is online. Like I said, the first month, April, I was getting into the agency, just they were doing system checks, I was doing training, and yeah, somebody talked about training for some agencies or some companies. They will train you because you need to know what they're about, but that doesn't mean you just sit and wait to be hired and then you don't know. I was on YouTube even when I was looking for jobs before I got in the agency. What is email management? What is calendar management? Basically learning the CRM tools that I needed. And I remember one of the first things I asked Lorraine was like, what is this? I see people talking about CRM. What is Asana? I keep hearing yourselves. What's Salesforce? I had no idea. And she just walked me through and said, Andie, everything these days is online, and you can exactly being proactive. So even we say that you should prepare for what you pray for. So if you know that you need to be somewhere, you start preparing now. Oh yeah, thank you, Ryan. So Sean, he hired me during that time. A lot of the things that he said were the same thing, and you pray for good bosses, you guys, like pray for good clients, because Sean would just, and he's very reassuring. And I remember he would tell me, he told me, I'm so excited. I know that you're going to help my company. I love your energy. I've never been comfortable with giving any virtual assistant, to talk to my clients, but I feel like I can do that with you. I can give you this access. I can, and that's because of exactly. And I told God before I got this, I said, Lord, I'm not going to disgrace you. When you take me there, I'm not, because people know me as the Jesus girl, Jesus' baby. And then I go there and I do nonsense. They fire me for not performing. They'll tie it to my God. They'll say these Christians are lazy. And I said, God, I will not disgrace you. And if I would share my screen, I would have shown you the message from my manager from the other job, my full-time role, yesterday. And there's some things that I did, and she was shocked because she didn't tell me to do them. And I saw that it's something that needed to be done. And I was like, you know what, let me do it. And from last week, I've just been hearing her saying, I'm so happy with how you're working. Like, you're catching on so fast. I feel like I can give you, to do this and to do that. And I'm already making phone calls to clients as we speak. And so yesterday she was just like, oh my God, you are so good. And then she just opened up and she's like, you know what, Andie, I'm just so happy with the work that you're doing, and that's why, I'm correcting you, because so after doing that, to be honest, she just pulled out and she's like, because the girl says she's OCD, so you find that I do something, and I do something, and I'm like, oh, this looks amazing, and then she comes and she's like, that's to the left. Can you center it a little bit? Okay, you've done that. Can you, move it high? And I always say the Holy Spirit, I could sense that she was starting to feel bad, and I knew it, and and I laughed about it. I even shared it with Yvonne. I'm like, she's feeling bad that she's maybe telling me what to do, but I'm still new in the company, barely a month. And so yesterday she put us and said, you know what, I'm really so happy with the work that you're doing. You're doing such a great job, and I feel bad that maybe you run away because I'm correcting you here and there, but I really want you to be here a long time. And so I said, please feel free. And for me, it was amazing, because sometimes when you're selling yourself, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do Excel extremely well. Yes, I can do Word extremely. We faith it, right? Because you know the basics. But while you are in there, you realize, oh my God, I don't really know everything. So it's through those corrections that you are able to work on it. And I think that's just my advice to all of you, to even when you get to that place, not to take things too personal, but to be able to love feedback and correction, and because if I would have just been like, oh my God, I know what I'm doing, why she's being so, but I loved it, and she's been so impressed with my work so far. And what else do you want to do? I don't know if I'm missing, because I'm all over the place.
So we have someone who asked, what CRM tools are you currently using, especially as a VA?
Okay, so for CRM tools, it really does also depend with the person that you're working with. For example, with the real estate agent, you need maybe to know Zillow and sure, I've been putting the other name of that, Redport or something, that are used in the real estate. But right now, what I'm using is I use Avaya, Ring Central, which is a caller ID. I'm so happy. Finally, I can put Salesforce on my CV. We use Salesforce as well. I use Slack for communication with my other client, the travel agent. I use Monday.com, helps with productivity, and I use what else? Amazon Workspace, Microsoft Teams, the list, Outlook. Guys, when you are learning calendar something, don't just Google, like Outlook as well. So I will use Outlook. The list is endless, but that's just a few of the things that we use right now.
Yeah, and I can see a number of our clients are also on this live. So if there's anything that you take away from this, I think Ms. Aki put it very, very nicely. In one word, be proactive. right? And what Nanji said is that, which actually speaks to being proactive, is that treat your job as if it's your business. So if treat it like it's your employer, right? It is you're an entrepreneur. If that was your business, what else would you do? And then do it. Now, do you want to add something?
Yes, actually, that's how I look at it. It's my virtual assistant's business. They are paying me for my service, so it's basically your business. It's your name on the line. I've noticed something, and to be very honest, I can't tell lie. It was me also for a very long time, where just because I'm getting paid, let me just show up and do what I have to do. And we don't really want to be associated with excellence. You don't really want to tie excellence to what it is you are doing, and that's just so wrong, because you do not know who from where to where will see your name and recommend you because of an amazing thing that you did. If I tell you that the full-time job that I did now, I didn't apply for it, that I'm doing now, I did not apply for it. I was literally online for another interview with somebody else, and I just got the message to say, "Oh, Nanji, this person would like to meet you, just 5-10 minutes. Do you have the time?" I said, "Okay, sure." My internet was crappy that day because we were having national problems with network anywhere. It was literally the grace of God. I had the interview at 8 p.m. I woke up from a nightmare at 1 a.m. By the time I was going to sleep, I didn't even check my social, my everything, but when I went to sleep by 3 a.m., I found that they had sent me, actually not too long ago, just 2-3 hours after my interview, they had sent me the confirmation that the people were going to take me full time. When they just needed somebody to work for them for 20 hours a week, they got me for 40 hours. So sell yourself, guys. Sell yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now Nanji, I know it is all, and I did the same when I was in Lean Google's show. I was like, oh yeah, remote work is amazing. You get to do this, you get to work from anywhere. You get to work from home. You're paid in US dollars, foreign currencies. You're always, earning so much money, etc., etc. What I did not speak about are the challenges, and I think we can all attest that one of the challenges that you would be experiencing would be internet and load shedding. Is there any other challenge that you are currently experiencing?
There are, like every single thing, to be very honest with you. There's somebody who I say, no, I can't really, maybe this remote work, what if it takes long? Like every single thing that you're going to do, you're going to face challenges. Even maybe someone will be thinking, oh my God, then you got a job, let me also go. It was not, if I show you, even to date, I still get rejections from maybe jobs I applied for months ago, and I just laugh because the Bible says time and chance happens to us all, but you have to apply yourself. So one of the challenges, let's first put aside load shedding and all those issues that I had faced, is getting in, finding somewhere to get in. I know it didn't take me too long because I like I said, I got in May, in April, mid-April, let me just say May. I had my first interview in May, and by the end of the month, I had my first job. 3 days from that, I had another interview. 2 days from that interview, I got another job. 2 weeks from that, I got my full-time job. So it may seem like, it was all coming, together at once, but even in the agency, you may not see how many times I applied, how many roles I applied for, how many rejections came before I could actually, get to that point where you say, Nanji, you're on high demand. But that high demand came with a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. And I would just like to encourage somebody that maybe or may feel like they've received so many, rejections, and they've received so many rejections. It's very easy to get deflated. But I always tell my best friend, she's here. We are like an ambulance. As you are crying, you are moving. We don't cry and stop. We cry and we move. You get the rejections, and you keep on moving, because it will be very easy for you to say, beyond the savannah scammed me. Nanji scammed me, they just got my money. Those things don't work. But you don't know how close you were to your breakthrough. So one of the challenges that you're going to face, it may not come as easy or as quick as you may desire it to, but you keep on doing it, you keep on improving yourself, and it will come. So another challenge like I said, like what is this? The load shedding. These are things that maybe we don't really have control over. And when you're starting to work, they will mention to you to say, oh, you should have your UPS, which is basically your uninterruptible power supply, which is a backup, maybe a genset. But to be very honest, when you're starting out for a reason. You may not have all those things in place. So what I had to do is I knew, like now, I'm very seriously introverted. I know by the way I speak, people don't believe that I love my house. I don't leave. I don't like people like that. I like them because I'm a child of God, and I love you, my brothers and sisters. But I'm not, I'm not an outgoing person. And so even when I was getting into the remote world, I was like, you know what, this speaks to me because I love my house. I don't like outside. I don't like people like that. I don't like moving around. That's not who I am. So I can work inside, but to be honest, it's so funny. I was laughing at that. I said, for me, who's always been in my house, my remote work finally is taking me out, because I find that now I want to find new places that I can work from, and just when was that, last week and the other week I was literally working from a restaurant just somewhere, and I loved it. I just loved it, and all of a sudden I want to go to all these places and experience how it is to work from there. So yes, Prissy, a very, very serious introvert, very serious, like extremely introverted. But you put that aside, even when you're applying. That's why I know we all have what we love and what works for us. But when I see certain people say, no, I just want jobs that are introverted, I don't want phone call jobs. Those are people who are doing well. You people don't want money because you're even choosing to say, I don't want if it has anything to do with the phone. I don't want to talk to people. Yeah, well done, sir. Well done, ma. Because that's amazing. For me, my first role was lead generation and cold calling. I don't like cold calling. Cold calling is not nice. People insult you. They don't like you, But then I had to talk to myself to not just do it, because when you go and they're saying, oh, I'm just going to do it because, for the sake of doing it so that they can pay me, you're not going to do a good job. But when you actually doing it because I taught myself to love it and to enjoy it, it's an opportunity that I didn't have before. And so anyway, challenges. So that's one of the challenges that you're going to have, and you should prepare for. If you know that where you are, you may not have maybe a gen set or something, always have like a small money with you when you start working, and you can maybe go somewhere and just buy a drink and work for somewhere where yeah.
So we've got a number of questions from the chat. Yes. Andie is asking, and if you're comfortable, could you please share the agency that you use?
Okay, so for now, like I mentioned, I maybe privately I can, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to. They do have in my contract. They did acknowledge that some people do social media and the likes, but they were very specific about affiliation. What if I come on and I mess up somewhere, and then you to say, oh, Nanji works for that agency. So on that one, I'm a little bit yeah.
And quite understandable. So Andie, perhaps you want to take the conversation with Nanji privately. I'm sure she'll be able to help. Then we've got Kutlum who's asking, no. Kutlum's challenge was, he or she was asked for a US social security number in the interview. Again, that means that you're applying to the wrong opportunities, right? Yes, go on. I interjected. You were saying something?
Oh, okay. I wanted to answer Kutum's message, if that's okay. Okay. So, it may be unpopular opinion, but please just indulge me for a little bit. When they ask you for social security and everything, that means maybe you applied to a role that is not hiring from where you are. So for example, the company is based in the States. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about how you can use a VPN to, apply for those, which is true. Personally, I do not really advise you to go in that fraudulent way, I don't advise people to, because like I said, a good name is more precious than rubies, and you don't know where you'll find these people in the future. And also, just when they figure out that you are not from where they are, it's very disappointing. Our friends in those places, they are very big on trust and honesty, and so when they find out to say, this person was deceiving, it's who knows? I don't know if there's a system somewhere in the states where they go and post and say, don't hire this person because they deceived us and likes. But just in case, even just yourself, you don't want to be working and you're on the edge of your seat. What if they find out that I'm from, what if they find out that I'm not from the country? That's just my opinion. If you want to, I cannot stop you, but personally, I wouldn't be comfortable, working with fear to say, what if they find out I'm not from their country and the rest. I don't know what your opinion is on that one, Lorraine.
Yeah, I mean, aside from just working with fear, you also want to be productive, but it's even more so where you're going to get the social security number. If you're not a citizen of the US, where you're going to get it, where you're going to get a W-8 form or a W-9 form, which is like the equivalent of a carrier PIN over in the US, where you're going to get the location, where they're going to send you a check. So there's so many things or so many ways in which you can get caught that I do advise, again, I'm with Andie, please don't, because you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And remember, like Andie said, you landing an opportunity doesn't come easy. So rather than wasting time going the fraudulent way, just do things right. And in any case, right now we're a global village and they're hiring, right? And we've got good ambassadors like Andie and the rest of other remote workers who are doing amazing job at what it is that they do. And the word is getting out there. So yeah, I mean, we are, what is it called? What is Africa referred to? The next, like our biggest resource other than our natural resources is talent, because we are a highly educated group. So yeah, we can do this, right? Prissy is asking, how many hours do you work per week for each client? Andie?
Okay, so my full time is 40 hours a week. My part-time is 20 hours a week, which is 4 hours a day, but mostly projects. Like the other week, I did about 19 hours or 15 hours for him, which I guess sometimes I just do it within 2 days or 3 days. And I'm free throughout the week and I have the 40 hours. And then the real estate agent, it's also just projects. So whenever she needs something done is when I'm on it.
Look at that, finishing your 20 hours a week in 2 days and you're good to go. You've got, you're enjoying the flexibility and being your own time manager. We've got Dripping Woman says she's from Nigeria. Can you get a remote job? Absolutely. I want to employ you to check out our website, beyondsavannah.co.ke. And if you're here and you haven't given me a follow, can you go ahead and do so? Yeah, thank you very much. Reen or Ryan. So when applying to the remote opportunities on Beyond the Savannah, should you apply with your Kenyan details? Absolutely, because they do know, particularly for the jobs on our website, they're hiring globally in the EMEA time zone, Africa. So when they're hiring, they do know that they're hiring from Africa, from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Ghana. They're aware of that. So yes, please, let's be truthful, yeah? Sanbi, just want to allow an entry-level remote opportunity, head over to our website and do give me a follow on here as well. Yes, if yes, do we have people that have been hired from Kenya without using a VPN? I think we've got, on this slide, we have Miss Akinyi, right? We also have a number of Kenyans who, we will be doing this at least once a month, bringing in success stories. So yes, there are a number of Kenyans as well who've been hired without using a VPN and they're working remotely. Just like Andie, who's in Zambia, working remotely, and just like Geetha that we featured, I think it was last week or the other week on our YouTube channel. She's in South Africa, again, got an opportunity through our platform, and she's working remotely as well. So yeah, I am so glad we started this platform. We have started this page.
Just to if I can add on, I feel like now you guys have so many more opportunities than we even have. Like everywhere you go, even platforms you see Kenya, hiring from Nigeria, hiring from South Africa. So this is the time for you guys to like. How many of you, okay, here have literally gone on beyond the savannas? Like the roles, the money that they are paying, and Lorraine only puts those that are paying, like they are paying extremely well. So if you can just position yourself, there's someone I was been telling you today, said, guy, you can do it. Just go and check out Beyond the Savannah's page, and you are test.
Oh, love it. Okay, we got a question from Chabet. How can you tailor your CV for a fresh VA? Chabet, if you're listening to Nanji, she did drop a few gems, right? So, of course, I would want you to purchase our CV revamp package and let's work on your CV to tailor make it for a VA or even customer service role. But she also mentioned a few keywords, things that she's working on. Email management, calendar management, CRMs, and she mentioned a number of tools that if you were taking notes, if I were you and I was taking notes, I would be writing them down and then including those in my resume. I think I just told you how you can do that, yeah? Let's see. Do we have remote jobs for Zambia? Because here it's very difficult to find one. User Nanji is actually Zambian. So I think someone said that if there's someone for Hope, then Nanji is the one, or Hope is here. Nanji, do you want to speak to user
I am your country person. I'm in Lusaka, Zambia right now. And actually, I recently relocated. I just love remote work. I recently just got up and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of being here. I need a change of environment. And I relocated to a different city. So I am from Zambia. And yeah, it's not that easy in my country, but it can be done. Like, online doesn't care about your country, to be very honest. As long as you can do what needs to be done. So yeah.
Good. We've got a question from Lee. I would like to do CRM courses. Where can I do that comprehensively? Now, if you listened, because Nanji has been a very beautiful guest. If you listened to her story, and I think Mr. King also alluded to that, proactiveness, someone also said consistency. And the other thing is that you must be willing to do research. No one is coming to chase you. No one is coming to tell you, get on over to Google, go onto YouTube and, learn these tools. But that is exactly where you're going to get them, right? You do not have, I always tell my clients, you do not need to have a certificate. You need to have demonstrable knowledge that you understand the remote work landscape. You understand what it takes for you to work remotely. You understand what Zendesk is. So go onto YouTube, watch the tutorials, go onto Google, understand the look and feel of Salesforce, understand their limitations, understand its capabilities, and you're good to go. When you get into that interview, like Nanji said, be bold, be confident, and sell yourself. I don't know, Nanji, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, she's asking about CRMs, yes? Yeah. Just like Lorraine said, guys, the internet these days is your friend. Like, honestly, to a lot of the things that I knew them first on YouTube. And so now, actually doing it is easy because it's something that I went out and I learned. And yeah, so you can just YouTube and that's it. And also, I must mention, I had no idea that I could actually do courses online. And it's Lorraine, actually, who taught me about that when she added it in my CV, some certifications. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to learn this. And I went on LinkedIn Learning. And, hey, guys, this is why Lorraine also encourages to say, study your CV. And she told me, Nanji, you need to study your CV. Know your CV, because we are human beings. And sometimes, it's just natural, you can forget. So, I went through, the was on my certifications, what Lorraine had suggested. And in one of my interviews with Sean, actually, that would have been like the factor that's what made me tank that interview. But he asked me, he says, oh, I see customer journey and mapping on your on your as one of your certifications. I talk a lot about that. Please tell me what did you get from that course, my dear? Something that I did 2 months ago. The Holy Spirit is your friend. And I remember, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes how you speak, even when you're speaking not a lot of sense, but you package it well, I sell yourself, guys. The guy just put 2 thumbs up and I said, this job is mine. This job is mine. So that's that. Learn what you are learning, so that even when you are there, I had never encountered that where somebody asked about certifications that were at the end of my CV, but he literally asked, I see this. What did you know about that? Okay, at this job, it says that you help them grow client engagement by 20%. What does that mean? How did you know it was 20%? Guys, English is nice. And how do you answer such a question? So you need to prepare for what you're praying for. Prepare for like every single thing. Yeah. So I think that's what I would say when it comes to CRMs.
Awesome. And God bless everyone who's saying he or she is saving for our CV revamp. Currently, we've got a 20% offer on all our services. Not you paid full price, right? So we're currently running a 20% offer on all our services till the end of August. So if you wanted to, now is the time. We've got Zambia who's asking, can you get a job with a diploma? Get this. If you listen to Nanji's conversation or our conversation with Nanji right now, she did something completely different, at school, and now she's doing something completely different. And the only question that has come up, or perhaps Nanji, we can elaborate, right? Because the only question that came up was on your certification. So I always say that papers are important, yes, but it is demonstrable knowledge. And that's why I always insist, upskill, do research, have demonstrable knowledge of the career path that you're choosing. Because when you speak confidently, like Andie said, when you speak like you know your stuff, no one is going to doubt you, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so. And maybe just to elaborate for maybe somebody that's very new, when we say certification, we don't mean your diploma or your degree. These days, you can do courses online, and the courses that I actually did, Lorraine had suggested. So you find someone like 30 minutes, 1 hour on LinkedIn Learning or on YouTube, anywhere. And like for example, on LinkedIn Learning, you actually get a certificate for it. So those same courses that you do, you put them in your CV. And the funny thing is, because I actually just I didn't even think I was going to retain the knowledge. I was just doing them because I actually wanted the certificate at the end of it all. But I told you, the Holy Spirit is your friend, that I even remembered to say, oh my God, this is what I learned from that course, because it was a very short course, I think about an hour or 3 hours. So when we talk about certifications, it's not exactly about your degree or your diploma even though mostly they will mention, some people will say, oh, we want somebody with a degree, but it doesn't, I don't think that it really matters like that. Yeah,
absolutely. We've got Palesa, who says she struggles to land a job even though she gets interviews. No, Palesa, if I were you, I would book an interview prep with me or with Beyond the Savannah ASAP, and let's get to the root of the problem. Is it how you're communicating? Chances are it's how you're answering the questions and how you're presenting, and that is an easy fix. That is such an easy fix. And even as Nanji is giving us her parting shots, she's been so gracious to give us an hour and a half of her time on a Saturday evening. Nanji, any parting shots? I know my parting shot is that I not only got a customer from Zambia, but also got a friend, and I am so lucky that our paths crossed. And I really cannot wait to see where your journey goes and how amazing your life is going to change and the time it's going to take. So any parting shot for us, Nanji?
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you. And Like, guys, I this friendship, I had to bombard Lori. I said, you will hear from me every day, and she heard from me every day. So firstly, I'm so grateful. I thank God every single day, because he saw where it was and what I needed. I didn't have everything together, even when I approached you for help. I didn't, but you were so gracious. You were so gracious. You were so accommodating, and you were so kind. And see now, I was laughing when was that, some weeks ago, when I got my first email of my payment. I'm like, let me translate this to Zambian kwacha. You see how much, like when you hey. God is so good. So my parting shot, if anyone has any questions, maybe you can ask, but my encouragement would be for anybody looking to get into the remote workspace. First and foremost, I can't talk about anybody else, because I don't know anyone else when it comes to faith. My own is Jehovah Jireh. That's it. That has been my saving grace. I believe that what you believe in is what is going to shape you. Your foundation is going to shape you. And so a lot of the things that I have been through, and that I have faced, and that I have accomplished, is because of my beliefs and my values, which is my faith in God. And I would say the same when it comes to being where I am today in terms of remote work. God would have led me anywhere. It would have been anybody, but there's a reason why our paths crossed, Lorraine, because God knew what I needed. I told you before, I had gone to YouTube, I searched here and there, high and low, and it wasn't making sense for me. But just how you broke everything down, the help that I received, the information that I got, it was just top notch. And so, if we can be here, we've worked remotely and are working remotely. Why not you? Why not you? Yeah, why not you? If you want that change, and you're just tired of where you are, it's possible. It's very, very possible. So please, don't assume that you have it off, because Lorraine, I did notice this, because there's somebody that I had even talked to, and that if you need to have somebody to guide you through this journey, especially when you're starting, so that you don't make so many mistakes. But she was like, no, I'm not a rookie. I said, oh, okay, I'm not a rookie. And then I said, fine, let me see what you have. And this person is sending you their CV, and it's the same CV, PO box number, and everything that they apply for when applying, locally. So you cannot take the knowledge that you have and say, oh, because I've applied, physically and for local jobs, it's the same thing that I'll do remote. It's not going to work. It's not. Firstly, even she didn't even know what an ATS friendly CV was, or what it is, and those are services that you provide. So, guys, you will not regret it. If you need, and one thing I love, let me just mention before I go, you have packages for everyone. I know you have a student package, you have packages for everyone, and sometimes you're even like, what, if you need this done, I can tailor something for you, let's talk. So sometimes in my country we say mulatini na abatali, meaning there are some things that you look at and just be like, oh, this lady looks expensive, or she looks like this, but ask, have a conversation. Okay, this is what I would like to have, this is the level that I'm at, Lorraine. How can I be assisted? And then you pick it up from there. So if there's nothing else, I think that's what I would say, unless you have a question for me.
Beautifully said, Nanji. And like you said, everything is an investment. And like I said, after listening to the podcast, I think it is female feminist. Yeah, they talk all about money. Everything has an opportunity cost, and everything has a cost to it. So you choose what you're comfortable with, as long as you're able to sleep well at night and you're able to live with your choices. That amazing. I think that's all we can say. But this has been amazing. Yeah. Exactly. Choose your heart. This has been amazing, Nanji. Thank you so much. I feel like we should bring her again. We are nearing our first year anniversary as Beyond the Savannah. Perhaps we're going to have Nanji and Miss Akinyi over there, and all the success stories that we have had, so people can actually see that, this is what you're doing and you're changing lives, and I'm so glad that we have this platform and we are actually achieving what we set out to do, and we could not have done that without you taking chances on us and you putting in the hard work, and I'll see your lives. I'm so grateful for this. And I guess if you're here, lastly, and haven't followed me, go ahead and do so on all our social media platforms. And if you need us to work with you directly, please send us a DM. We're very open to it, like Andie said, and I cannot wait to hear more success stories. Well, until next time, I'm gonna bring all of y'all together, and it's gonna be amazing. So be on the lookout for that in November. But yeah, until next time, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. This has been amazing. Bye.